Forget everything you thought you knew about action movies. 2025 just raised the bar. From bone-crushing fight scenes to jaw-dropping visual effects, these are the films that redefined adrenaline in cinema. If you're not watching these, you're missing the future of action. Let's dive in.
Take it. Take it! Point it at my chest! Do it now! Put your finger on the trigger. You can't do what I do no matter how much I train you. You're just not a killer, Charlie.
Let's kick things off with a quiet genius turned lethal weapon. Imagine being a CIA codebreaker buried in the bowels of Langley. Quiet, genius, and far from danger. That's Charlie Heller until his world explodes. When his wife is killed in a terrorist attack and the agency turns its back on justice, Charlie doesn't file complaints. He writes his own mission plan.
I want to find and kill the people who murdered my wife.
I don't think you could beat a 90-year-old nun in an arm wrestling match.
Rami Malek's performance is a masterclass in restrained fury, evolving from analyst to avenger in a heartbeat. What makes the amateur stand out isn't just the high-stakes globetrotting or the tactical suspense, it's how brainpower becomes the deadliest weapon in the room. Every confrontation feels earned, every decision razor-sharp. This isn't your average revenge flick, it's Bourne Identity meets the lives of others. With Malek's quiet intensity making you feel every beat of heartbreak and vengeance. But just when you think you've caught your breath, let's descend into something a little more mysterious.
What the hell is that?
The gorge is the door to hell, and we're standing guard at the gate.
The Gorge is a love story, a mystery, and an action-packed fever dream all in one. Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy play elite operatives stationed on opposite sides of a mysterious chasm, tasked with guarding against an evil so secret they're not even told what it is. The setup? Simple. The tension? Unrelenting. And the chemistry? Electrifying. Across lonely towers, coded messages turn into deep emotional bonds, and soon the unseen danger becomes very, very real. The film masterfully balances romance and paranoia until both characters, and we as viewers, can't tell where the threat ends and the mind games begin. Up next, we're heading to Paris.
Quelle tristesse.
Je te laisse une dernière chance pour régler tout ça.
Ad Vitam opens like a ticking time bomb. Literally, Frank narrowly survives an assassination attempt, only to discover his pregnant wife Leo has been kidnapped. What follows is an adrenaline-soaked odyssey across France, packed with raw emotion, betrayal, and explosive set pieces. Through gripping flashbacks, we learn about Frank and Leo's history in the GIGN, France's elite police tactical unit. From training partners to lovers, their bond was forged in fire. But now, with Frank framed for murder and Leo held hostage, he's a man on the run from everyone he once trusted. While Leo spends a bit too much time sidelined, her few fight scenes still pack a punch.
We have a problem.
Marlboro Man. How'd you guys meet?
Prison. Tinder, actually.
Coming in hot at number 6, we have Den of Thieves 2, Pantera. Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson Jr. return for a sequel that turns up the grit, the guns, and the global stakes. Den of Thieves takes everything you loved from the original, tense heists, brute force takedowns, and testosterone-charged showdowns, and cranks it to 11. This time, Big Nick is storming through Europe on a relentless mission to take down his old nemesis, Donnie, who's knee-deep in the treacherous world of diamond theft and neck-deep in the infamous Panther Mafia. The plot centers around a colossal heist targeting the world's largest diamond exchange. What's brilliant here isn't just the scale of the operation, but the cat-and-mouse dynamic between cop and criminal. The stakes feel real, the betrayals sting, and the action choreography, brutal and precise. You're not just watching a shootout, you're embedded in the crossfire, with gritty visuals, dynamic pacing, and a deeper dive into Donnie's psyche. Pantera builds a global crime thriller around loyalty, betrayal, and the price of ambition. But before the bullets stop flying, we're dialing back the clock and heading to the front lines of a rebellion led by an unexpected hero.
Now it begins.
Kill them! Who are you?
Wilhelm Tell.
History meets high-stakes rebellion in a film that feels part epic, part emotional gut punch. William Tell isn't just another historical action film, it's a rallying cry. The Holy Roman Empire is falling apart, and as the Austrian Habsburgs tighten their grip, Switzerland is caught in the chokehold. William Tell, a humble huntsman, pulled into a resistance movement after helping a fugitive farmer who murdered a tyrannical Austrian governor. But things explode when the Austrian Viceroy Gessler forces Tell to do the unthinkable: shoot an apple off his son's head as punishment for defying imperial rule. This isn't just action for the sake of thrills. It's deeply personal. We see a reluctant warrior become a revolutionary icon, fueled by trauma, duty, and love for his homeland. And from medieval legend, we now plunge into a realm where magic and monsters walk hand in hand. Prepare to get lost in the Lost Lands.
Friends of yours?
I don't have many friends.
Me neither.
Magic has a price, and in the Lost Lands, that price is terrifying. Directed by Paul Anderson and based on George Martin's dark fantasy tale, In the Lost Lands stars Mila Jovovich as Grey Alice, a powerful sorceress tasked by a desperate queen with a seemingly simple mission: obtain the ability to shapeshift into a werewolf. But there's nothing simple about the Lost Lands. Teaming up with the mysterious mercenary Boyce, Alice journeys into a brutal, surreal world filled with demonic creatures, deadly landscapes, and secrets that can literally change your shape or destroy your soul. What makes this film stand out isn't just the fantasy elements, it's how it blends them with action. This isn't a fairy tale, it's a blood-soaked, morally complex quest where every wish has consequences. From sword fights on cliff edges to pulse-pounding monster battles, In the Lost Lands is like The Witcher meets Mad Max. And yes, it gets that wild. Before we break into the top 3, don't forget to hit that like button if you love heart-pounding action. Subscribe for more epic movie breakdowns because we're just getting started. Now, let's crank it up.
You have a foundation of Kung Fu.
We're going to build upon that with karate.
Ancient way.
Miyagi way.
There's 2 of them.
Focus!
This isn't just nostalgia, it's a legacy reborn. Karate Kid Legends brings together generations of martial arts mastery in a high-octane, emotionally charged reboot that hits harder than a spinning roundhouse. We follow Li Fong, played by rising star Ben Wang, a kung fu prodigy who finds himself an outsider in New York City. Struggling to fit in, Lee bonds with a friend and her wise father, only to be pulled into a local karate rivalry that explodes into full-blown combat chaos. Jackie Chan reprises his role as the ever-wise Mr. Han. And yes, Ralph Macchio returns as Daniel LaRusso, bringing East and West together to prepare Lee for the ultimate underground martial arts tournament. This film is a love letter to every kick, punch, and wax-on, wax-off moment from the past, while delivering modern, bone-crunching choreography that rivals anything in the John Wick franchise. It's not just a reboot, it's an evolution.
Come get some!
What happens when science tampers with the soul? The Grove isn't your typical action flick. It's an intense cerebral ride into psychological horror meets military sci-fi, and it pulls no punches. Terrence, a hardened Black Ops soldier, volunteers for an experimental program designed to create the perfect super soldier. The twist, the cost is more than physical. It begins to erode his sanity. Played with gripping intensity by Akarie White, Terrence spirals into paranoia when he stops taking his meds during a quiet getaway with friends. What was meant to be a peaceful retreat quickly morphs into a claustrophobic bloodbath, filled with hallucinations, betrayal, and unfiltered rage. And at number 1, we have Fateh, a brutal, high-stakes cyber action thriller that defines not just 2025, but the digital age of justice. Set in the vibrant yet vulnerable heart of India, Fateh stars Sonu Sood, who also directs. As a quiet man whose life is shattered when a young girl becomes a victim of a cybercrime syndicate, what follows is a no-holds-barred takedown of an invisible empire, one built not on bullets, but bytes. With cyber fraud growing at an alarming rate, this film dares to ask, what happens when one man declares digital war? Fateh is bold, timely, violent, and a wake-up call. If 2025 gave us a movie that encapsulates modern action, this is it.